Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today I am going to be unboxing this brand new Pathfinder quest game. So this is something that I backed on, I think it was BackerKit quite a while ago, and it's finally arrived. And this is something I've been looking forward to for a little bit. It's been long enough that I kind of forgot about it. Like I got the shipping notification and I had no idea what it was or where it was from. But as it turns out, it was the fulfillment, or at least the first part of the fulfillment of the Pathfinder Quest backer kit. So I do have some other things, like there was a coin for like early support, as well as some I have some extras that I threw in there, like some dice sets and four player mats that I guess are going to be part of like the second wave of fulfillment. But anyway, this thing is absolutely massive. I went with the deluxe version, so this is going to include miniatures, whereas the standard version just has the cardboard pawns. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to try to do this relatively quick. Even though I'm down in my basement, we are in the middle of a heat wave here in Nova Scotia. Or I guess the beginning of a heat wave is supposed to go on today and tomorrow, and possibly into the weekend. So it's still warm down here, despite the fact that it's, partially below ground. So I don't want to overdo things too much. I still got to take my dog out for a walk. I've been trying to limit how much we go out, just because he gets warm really easily. We did trim all of his fur down though, so like all of his feathers and stuff have been trimmed off for the summer. So that might cool him down a little bit, but I still want to limit how much time he's out there when we're in the middle of like a heat warning. So anyway, let's get this plastic off here. Oh my goodness. So I'm hoping that this is something that they're going to like continue to support, because a few years ago they re-released their adventure card system, and I really liked that game. They sent me the core set as well as this first story expansion for the second edition version of the game. But then it kind of just fizzled out. They didn't really do anything else with it. There were no other releases for it. There were no like organized play, I don't think, for it. So it's kind of a shame. So I'm hoping that this is something that they'll get behind and really support, especially considering that you can get like the cheaper version with just the cardstock pawns. But let's take a look at the box here. So we got like Pathfinder Quest. We got some of our iconic characters here fighting off some sort of magma creature. Probably some sort of like para-elemental. Get a closer up shot there, and then on the bottom of the box, holy heck. So on the bottom of the box, it gives you sort of an idea of what's in here. Now it does mention Falcon's Hollow, which is where the Crown of the Kobold King took place, so I wonder how much of that is going to cross over. I think there was like a PDF Crown of the Kobold King story expansion you could have gotten for this, but I didn't really bother with that. Like I had gone pretty heavy into several other Kickstarters that same year, so this one was already expensive enough, so I didn't really go too deep into it. But yeah, it's interesting that it takes place in that same location that I began my Pathfinder and eventual Starfinder second edition campaign in. So there you get your list of contents, and it lists like the minis and stuff on like the list, but it doesn't really show them, because I think they just wanted to have the one set of artwork, so they kind of avoid showing like the pawns or the minis. Oh my goodness, this box is huge. I actually had to raise my tripod legs. Okay, so the box is, the lid is off, and here we've got the Welcome to Pathfinder Quest. So unpacking the box, you'll need to unpack it and sort the components into their various trays of components. So we're not going to go that deep into it. We'll take a look at some of the other things here. We got the minis, which is cool, and there's some dice, there's some other components there. Something for, I'm assuming, some sort of dial system, and I don't know if there's anything, there's got to be some other stuff in here, right? Oh my, this thing is heavy. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to get this stuff out. All right, we got the plastic off. All right, let's start with the stuff in here. So there's some foam, and I'll be putting the stuff back basically as it was. And actually, I got to stand up. That's how deep this box is. All right, so we got our dice. They were in there. Those bases were over here. So we got some cards, some feat cards, item cards, class cards. So you can make your own characters. There are pre-gen characters here for you to use. But there's also the ability to create your own by combining some of those cards together. So I do know that much about the game. Looks like some enemy cards. And all kinds of Ziploc bags, which is great. And then underneath, we've got a whole bunch of tokens, or the cardboard pawns, actually. And again, what's really cool about these is that they would absolutely be compatible with the role-playing game. So I'm not going to take them out right now, just because there's so much. But it is cool that they provide you with Ziploc bags to put everything in. I think that's awesome. And we'll put the cards back, because the main thing we kind of want to look at here are the books, the rule books, and the miniatures. So these guys were here. Were they? Or no, they were laying down. They were laying down. This was over here. And then that was like that. We'll put this back on there. And then I think this was up like that. And then I can move this. Alright. So we'll save the minis for last. Well, there are some nice ones in here. Again, one of the things I really got to do is get into painting. And some of these minis were actually like stretch goals, so they weren't part of the game by default. It was one of those things that they had to be unlocked as the campaign progressed, or as the backer kit campaign went on. All right, and then the plastic bag that this all comes in. Now it's kind of neat, although it makes me a little... I don't think you have to like write anything in any of these books. But here we got the welcome to the quest, and then there's there's some of the components there. So lots of sheets of tokens, and the cardstock sheets would also include like maps and stuff as well. It looks like. So some cool stuff there. Some extra different games. I don't think I have any of those, but I do have the beginner box as well as the player core. So I have all the Pathfinder role-playing stuff there. We got the adventure record. When prompted, record things on this sheet, shaping the story of the campaign. So this is something that I would probably photocopy, or if I can get like the digital version, I'd probably print that off, because I refuse to write on like the original components. All right, so the rule booklet is just staple bound, and then we've got the challenge booklet and the adventure booklet. So they are spiral bound. I don't want to go too far into them, but I just want to see, okay. It doesn't look like you have to write anything in them. Because some of these types of games, they have, was like the legacy style of gameplay where, okay, yeah, it doesn't look like, okay. So, like, there's some games, like Pandemic Legacy and some of the other ones, where I think Gloomhaven is another example, where basically you have to like write on or like destroy components in the box to play the game, type of thing. And if you have to like write things in the books to keep note of, then I would hate to do that with these. Not just because I don't like writing in original materials, but because I hate, as a left-handed person, writing anything in a spiral-bound book. So luckily, it's just the binding. There's no... it doesn't look like there's anything you have to keep track of inside the book itself, which is awesome. But yeah, that's one of those things that I always hated, like when I was going through school, or some of our scribblers had the ring binding there, so absolutely hated that. But yeah, it doesn't look like you have to write anything down inside of the books itself, so that's not a concern that I have anymore, thankfully. And then we got our rule book here. Now the rule book is actually kind of surprisingly thin. So I'm hoping that means it'll be a nice, easy, easy playing game. That will just be fun to do over like multiple sessions because you are progressing like a story throughout this. It is a cooperative. Oh wow! Okay, those are just thick pages. All right, so getting started. So this is for creating characters, and again, there are pre-made characters at the ready. So just how to read the cards. We're not going to get into that here. Moving. So during combat, it takes one action to move from one space to an adjacent space. Okay. So that's kind of like stuff like Alien or Blade Runner, where they break the map up into zones. And this one, they're actually just clearly marked where they are. So it's an action to move into a zone type of thing. You can't move from one space to another if they're only connected at a corner. Okay. You can do this multiple times on your turn before and after you spend other actions. Okay. Timing is everything. When two or more abilities happen at the same time, usually as a result of an attack roll, the order in which they resolve is unclear. You decide as a group which order to resolve them. For example, say a zombie hits an undamaged character with an attack that lets it use its ability, which deals damage to damaged characters. The group can decide that the skull ability happens first, causing it to deal no damage, and then the character takes... Okay. So it's a little bit of rule by committee type of thing. Truthfully, I don't think I would do that. I think that I would have its damage go first and then its ability go second, but to me that makes more logical sense. But this is like a fully cooperative game. So how to attack, the enemy cards... and armor. There's our iconic characters. And I think that's it. Yeah. So not a huge rule booklet, but that's okay. These games don't need to be overly complicated. And then we'll take a look at some of our minis here. Depending on how easy these things are to take out of the how easy they are to take out of the tray. Because I have found like the modern, I don't know if WizKids was involved in this one or not, but like a lot of the modern minis are super fragile compared to like the ones from back in 2003. I opened up some Starfinder minis and I had the Skittermander. And it fell off of my kitchen table and landed on the floor. And I've dropped minis hundreds of times that were older, made out of like the more flexible plastic. But this stuff is so rigid that it fell off the table and just broke right off the base. So I'm not quite impressed with the durability of some of the modern minis. This feels like similar material, so we'll go as easy as we can on it. But let's start with some of our iconic characters here. So we've got, this would be, Verlos? Our iconic fighter. This, I think, is an enemy. Yeah, Skeletal Champion. That looks pretty cool. Then we've got Kyra. So she's the iconic cleric. And then this guy, Korakai or Karakai. I don't think they're Kenku in Pathfinder. I forget what they're called now. But I think he's an Oracle. Zombie Behemoth. I really do got to get into painting minis here. Let's go this side here. I kind of wish I would have had this during the... is this the Forge Burned? Yeah. So when I was running Crown of the Kobold King, man, the Forge Spurned are no joke. These like undead dwarves, they have this ability that they create this like puff of smoke that lasts for a certain number of rounds, and it deals damage every single round. Like if you start your turn in the area, you take damage. And the first time they encountered one, I think it killed at least one player character and nearly destroyed the entire party. Right? They had to flee, kind of rest up, and then they went back and they were able to take care of it pretty handily at that point. But man, Forge Burned are no joke, especially like at the earlier levels that you were in that campaign. What's this guy here? Obsidian Construct. Okay, so that's what they're fighting on the cover there. Pretty gnarly. We got two of them, it looks like. Same pose? Yeah, it looks like same pose. Okay. So we've got two of those. These are actually surprisingly easy to get out of the thing. Living Wildfire. So that looks cool. Alright, some more iconic characters here. We have Harsk, the Dwarven Ranger. We have Maricel, I think it's pronounced, or Marizel, the Rogue. And then we got Ezrin, the Wizard. And then, of course, the Piece de la Resistance. Oh, he's a little hard to get out. Uh-oh. Alright, what's he catching on? Okay. So this is the Time Dragon. And this thing looks pretty sweet. So this is probably like the end villain of the story arc there, but really, really cool stuff. Alright, let's see, how does this... So that goes on there like that. Alright. So I do plan on doing some more videos on this one in the future. It's just for right now, for the time being, I just wanted to get sort of the unboxing video out of the way, and I will break out all the components and kind of put them in their baggies and place them in the tray and stuff like that. I'm just not going to do that in this video, but I am really intrigued by this, and like I said, I hope it does well. I hope it's something that they support like continuously by putting out like new adventures, and it'd be great even if they had like adventures that come with some minis as well, so like a little bit of extra minis for your Pathfinder game and stuff. But yeah, looks like it's really high quality stuff. And I cannot wait to eventually maybe set up like a board game thing with some friends and just go through progress through the story and see kind of how things turn out. So anyway, that was my look at the contents of the Pathfinder Quest. That's, of course, upside down. But yeah, Pathfinder Quest. So let me know in the comments below. Did any of you also back the crowdfunding campaign? If so, did you get the deluxe version like I have here? Or did you go for the standard version with just the cardstock pawns? Truthfully, you know, considering how large this box is, that may have been the way to go. Or it would have been nice maybe if the minis came in a separate box. But regardless, it's still a really cool product. and I cannot wait to try this out. So anyway, thank you all so very much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.